Okay, this is possibly another video, or it's possibly still the same video, depending on how much footage I kept, how much was any good. So, we are now riding down this double track in the Badger Creek, Badger something wilderness. It's been really good so far. This is pretty challenging, pretty steep downhill on the downhill side. That's a car to take up here. Challenging for me. Steep on the downhill side, so you don't want to make any mistakes. And I can only imagine what this is like on that Versys. At least for me, I can really nail the suspension hard, and I got some travel to spare, but that guy, man. I've yet to ride the Versys. We just put new springs on it, and they're as heavy as they come for springs. Race Tech, 1 kilogram per millimeter. I think that's as high as I could get them. He says it's a lot better, so I'd be interested to know if it actually, for me, would make a difference. I'm a little lighter, so it'd just be interesting to see if that bike unloaded with me on it would be, something I would want to deal with. But it's definitely more of a road-oriented. I think Kawasaki was marketing the Versys 300 as a commuter, not a hard ADV bike. And it's kind of crazy that, right now the manufacturers, they build the bike just fine, but if you want suspension travel for some crazy reason and you don't want an old bike, you got to go to something like an Africa Twin or a Super Tenere. I guess now there's the Tenere 700 that has decent suspension, but I've actually heard it's really good suspension. I still prefer the older bikes because you just get lots of travel. Lots of ground clearance travel. Yeah, they're top heavy and they're slow. But the new bikes to me, like that Versys, it's a great road bike. Absolutely fantastic road bike. And it makes as much power as the XR650. And it costs about $700 less than a 650 brand new than the Honda. You could probably get a DR for about the same price, and the KLR was the same price, but I think this was supposed to kind of replace the KLR, maybe? It's got a Ninja motor in it, so it's got some get up and go. It's about as fast as this bike. And it's about as loud as this bike if you get the Delcovic, I think it is, exhaust. It's pretty good. I need to make a turn right here. Yay or nay? So that way. Kawasaki's a pretty good bike so far. It's been through some tough stuff. I think the ultimate test, because none of these bikes are really capable as far as like motocross or single track or like super rocky stuff. They're all bouncy, they're all like undersprung. So it'd be interesting to see though how long that one will last. Just getting totally beaten to pieces. Because the XR, me riding over big rocks and stuff all the time, and never changing the suspension fluid or redoing the fork seals or anything. It's been a really good bike, and I've put it through some serious stuff, but it's taken me always. You just gotta take good care of it, and it'll hold up. So it'll be interesting to see how a basically bottom of the price point an ADV bike is going to be on longevity and like as a beater vehicle. I just love how the XR, you can load it down to, you know, I think I'm 420 without me on it right now. Probably somewhere around there. And it does really good. Like I just jumped off that rock back there going slow and landed, and I don't think it bottomed out with all this weight. So that's pretty good, man. It's really nimble still. I mean, as far as nimble as one of these can be. Still gotta wrestle it around. I always have trouble with the tank bag in front of me. When I'm on these ADV rides, I can't stand up forever because the tank bag kind of pushes me backward. It's crazy, man. These big rocks and stuff, how they built these roads, just blasted them out of the mountainside. And we were here a week ago, and we had to turn around and go back. Actually, we were here a couple days ago. That was maybe 3 days ago. Not even a week. There's never another hill like that. I might show him going up it, turn around and see if I can catch him. Whew. It's funny though too, because I'm way out of shape. I've tried to do push-ups and stuff every day, and then you know, life happens, stuff happens, and it seems like at the moment I lose my perfect routine, I make an excuse and I stop doing stuff. So push-ups is that, man. I was doing that. I started out this year, January or so. Maybe it was last year, December, or something like that. And I was doing about 40, just once per day I did 40 push-ups. Or I started out doing about 20. And got all the way up to 40. So my goal was to be able to do 50 all at once by the time I was doing the Colorado BDR. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, I mean, even if I started now, I doubt I could get back to where I was. So I'm definitely a little out of shape. Let's see if we can catch him. Do you want to ride to the top of a hill? I just love how smooth the suspension is sometimes. It's smooth when you're going slow, but when you're going fast, man, it hates it. Wow, man, fast.
I'm hot.
Gotta conserve fuel on this teeny little peanut tank. It's a cool view. So no time like coasting down a hill to talk about a rocky hill at that, to talk about the effectiveness of my new back tire. The GP110 is a more popular, is what the tire guy tells me, dual sport tire that I got by mistake. And he said he had one in stock, so I was like, oh sweet, get the tire. But there's a little bit of a miscommunication, and I ended up with this one. And there's nothing wrong with it per se. I really am. I was stoked to try it because I was kind of looking for a tire that would wear a little bit better. So I ended up with this guy. Not the tire I wanted, but I've ended up with it. And I told my older brother, I was basically like, anything that's round and rubber, and I got it for 95 bucks because it wasn't the tire guy's fault. He ended up helping me out. And I know I've only got 30 subscribers, but I figure I might as well shout out Apex Motorsports. It's crazy, he says people complain about his prices. He charges $5 more than the Yamaha Sports Plaza. To me, that's perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. It's a better drive down to Oregon City, and he's got a pretty wide selection of popular tires between motocross and whatnot. So if there's a really popular Dunlop, Bridgestone motocross tire, he probably has it. He's got a couple sand tires. And before this COVID thing, he was able to get any tire you wanted within a day or two. So that was pretty cool. These are my favorite kind of roads. It's dirt with these bumps, big, long bumps you can jump off of. Nice. And of course on the XR, overweight like this is really hard to jump. Most of the time just get one wheel lifted off the ground, but sometimes you get a good one. That was a good one. It's gonna be hard to view that, but might be able to get him. Nice! That was badass. I bet that hurt coming down. But that was awesome. That was awesome.
Just wrong.
Yep. Nice. Both wheels off the ground. Whoa, she don't like that. But that's why we got a skid plate. Oh boy, that was a good one. Definitely helps if you add a little power when you come down on the jump. Because the suspension is so bottomed out. Adding a little power pulls that back wheel out a little bit. Gives you an inch so you don't bottom out on rocks. Jumps feel so good sometimes. That bike does so good on those jumps. How much did I get?
You just, if you include suspension travel, 2 feet. The main reason it looks like I get a lot of errors because my tire drops about 2 inches and that's just it.
That's shut. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. I got a fork brace on here too. I don't know what kind of fork brace it is, but because it came with my forks. And if you want a phone that works pretty good for motorcycle riding, just in case you were looking for one, Nexus 5X. It's a pretty darn good phone. Very light. It's definitely lighter than your average large smartphone these days. The battery life is mediocre at best. Really, it's not good. But you might invest in one of these little magnetic charging cables like I have here. It just sticks onto the phone. I had a problem where my previous phone, which was a nice LG V40, now I have an LG V60, because I love LG, but I have an LG V60, and that's only because, well, partially because I broke the V40, but mainly because I lost it. I dropped it off of the motorcycle, this exact mount, going like 40 miles an hour in the woods, and it fell off and I lost it. So, oh well. But that's alright. I ended up with a much better phone. The V40 was just kind of I mean, it was alright. The main problem was the battery life. And the charging port was wallowed out because of exactly what I was talking about there. It was behind the fairing. And the fairing creates wind buffeting. And with that wind buffeting, we end up with an eddy, and it causes the cable to shake back and forth. Smart plan, buddy. We're almost there. So I'll just sit on the inflatable raft. I like how quiet it is here.
Yeah.
This is holding it wide open for that one guy who commented. This is holding it wide open on pavement up the hill. Oh shit, we're going 60. Oh shit. It's a Fast 650. Oh shit, it's so fast. Crazy. Wow, they had a guy out here who could circle holes. Wow, incredible. I'm so glad they had someone out here to circle all the holes. Never would have known they were there or been able to navigate them. Never, never, never. Let's just get that on video. The bridge is closed.
What, collapsed?
They say it's been condemned. There we go. Nice. Get that on video. Yeah, there's people trying to get it replaced. Also, it says no motorcycles up there. It's so stupid.
On the bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a hiking bridge.
No, it's a full-on car bridge, but they don't want people going up there with motorcycles.
The bridge is still up?
It exists, but there's a gate across it. It's a different bridge.
So they closed all the bridges?
I don't know. I guess. And if it's closed like that one back there, it's not, we can't get across. It's only 2 miles.
Okay.
Oh. Let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick. You see that? The person who spray painted on public property is one of the people who helps keep bridges closed. Isn't that funny? How they talk about fascism and then they go and vandalize stuff? Isn't that great? I certainly know who has it out for me. Those kind of people have it out for me. Because I'll sure as hell tell you right now, I'm not in it for the types of people who close these bridges. If the Democrats, not if they said, but if they just started opening all these things up, I'd change my tune real quick. But they're not. They're the ones closing it. Obama was one of the worst. He specifically, I think it was 48,000 acres here in Oregon that he turned into a national monument. Isn't that, it's dumb. We don't pay a fee to use any of these roads for motorcycling. You know, you pay a forest pass fee for everything, right? But it's way cheaper to maintain a hiking trail that a lot of people want to use than a road that only a few motorcyclists want to use. So they, of course, they don't maintain them. And they say we're out of money. Okay, if I had to pay $500 a year for a pass and it was all electronically operated gates and you could only get in if you could buzz a code, that would be 100% fine with me, even if it was $500 a year. You know what they charge us for OHV access? Like 10 bucks. 10 bucks. So now they want to say, oh, we don't have the money to keep it open and maintain it. Yeah, of course you don't. And here it is. Here it was. Look at this. They're trying to get it completely shut off. They want this. So remember that guy was telling us that it was mandated that the Barlow Road was not to be touched?
Yeah.
And it had to stay in the state it was in. This is them trying to get around it and turning it into a hiking trail. Ready? Do you want me to lead or you? Hey everyone, Mega Editor Guy here. Sorry this video turned out even more charged than the last one. I hate to throw out footage, and keeping roads open as long as possible is very important to me. There are plenty of places in the world where there's no fun dirt roads left to ride, and if we don't fight to keep our roads open, then it's not going to be long until we lose them all. With that out of the way, I'd like to turn your attention to the fact that once again, over 90% of my views are for people who are not subscribed. That comes from YouTube showing more of my videos to unique viewers. This means more views, but not necessarily a growing channel. I know that's because there are a couple of videos on the channel that YouTube really likes to show you. Trust me, there are some on the channel that you might like and you just haven't seen yet. So
So go have a look at those and subscribe if you like what you see so you can get the next video that I post right away.